A ver. Nido, 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 nido. Ok, pues ya arrancó y... es un nido. En los nidos puede haber cosas interesantes, así que... What the... ¿Por qué no puedo disparar hacia arriba? Pero... ¿por qué no? La fuerza de tensado, ¿no? Ah, no tengo fuerza. ¡Qué imbécil! Claro, me agarré un arco que necesita demasiada fuerza, ¿no? No, 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 no. Claro. Me agarré un arco que necesita mucha fuerza. Ni me fijé en eso, claro. Necesito fuerza de tensado. No, 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 no. Creo que no necesito fuerza, necesito... Claro. Arma de lejos. Tengo 7. O sea, agilidad. Tengo 3. Falta. Y fuerza tengo 5. Falta una banda para poder usar este arco, básicamente. Así que ni equipado lo voy a tener. O sea, el pedo. Claro, y me supongo que... Claro. Para aguijón lo mismo. Necesito agilidad. Qué idiota, no me fijé esas cosas. A ver... ¡Epa! Mirá, acá creo que están. No, 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 este tronco me lo voy a llevar puesto. Me lo voy a comer con los dientes. Bien. La puta madre. Por lo menos que había acá adentro. Dejá la cula, puta madre. Hachas. Guantes. Quería ver si había Groshens, boludo. No. Che, ¿dónde están el resto de los Carboners? Acá. La puta madre, amigo. Levántense. Ya están listos. Carbonero no. Carbonero no. Portavoz de los carboneros. No, flaco. Quiero... a la compu.
I hope I can be of some humble service to you.
I'm looking for Ginger from Neuhoff. Do you know anything about him?
I know him. What do you want of him?
There's a few questions I need to ask him.
Well, you'll have to go somewhere else to find him. He doesn't come here much.
If you're hiding him here, please reconsider. It's Sir Radzig who sent me to find him. That boy's testimony could help stop more bloodshed.
I understand the urgency, lad, but really, he doesn't come here. He's friends with some of the boys over by Townburg.
And where can I find them?
Head west along the river and you'll run into them. Oh, and another thing you might like to know. Other people have been sniffing around here for him. Nasty fellas.
Where did they go? What did they look like?
Oh, they headed off to the west. But that doesn't mean anything. And they look... Well, one of them came here and asked a lot of questions. And the other one stood off at a distance, scowling. Dressed like murderers, the pair of them. God be with you.
No tengo... Qué cagada, no tengo... Estaba pensando, creo que estos chabones los puedo matar antes de que... Estos que lo están buscando, los puedo matar antes de que la misión empiece. El tema es que necesito veneno. O alguna poción que haga daño. Y no tengo. Tengo todo lo contrario. ¡Ay! ¡Poción de la bruja! Ok, sí tengo algo. Che, ya a esta hora es medio al pedo tener, ¿no? La antorcha. Me parece que es por acá. Estoy viendo el caminito. Ok, voy a guardar la partida. ¿Puedo guardar? Sí. Me encanta que me alcoholizo cada vez que... Me voy a acercar lo suficiente y voy a ir pasando las horas para ver si se van o no. No, 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 no. Que no venga el caballo, que no venga el caballo, la puta madre del caballo. Vos, hijo de puta. Quédate acá.
Wait here for me.
Por favor, sí.
Stay.
Vos también, la concha de tu madre. Vos no me sigas. Menos mal. Bueno, a ver, segundo intento. Vamos a ir a hacerlo por la forma pacífica, a ver.
What the hell was that? Greetings, my good man. May I ask you a question?
Ask first, then I'll ask you something.
Really? Good then. We're looking for Ginger, a stable boy at a nearby stud farm. Have you seen him anywhere?
I don't know anyone called that. I'm not even from this part of the country.
What a shame. We're worried about him, but we can't seem to find him.
Truly,
Voy a mentir,
I've
obviamente.
seen him. If I were you, I'd ask the charcoal burners.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for your advice.
¿Puedo hablar con este?
Mother of God!
I've been thinking it over, and I got an idea.
An idea? Wonders will never cease.
I was thinking we should go there, lop someone's head off, and the others will soon tell us what they know.
Well, they might. Then again, they might split your skull with an axe.
They wouldn't dare, no more than those cowardly fuckers at the stud farm.
No voy a comer del caldero, obviamente. Ahora esperar que el plan maestro haga...
Existe mucho más tarde de lo que te dije yo. Ya estaba creciendo. Yo te dije a una, nosotros nos fuimos a las 4, o sea que sí, lo tenés colgado y lo colgaste a las 7 de la tarde. Matías, presta atención a eso. Porque así se no hace tanto más, ahora se va a malzar y se tanto. Bueno, y si me pasaste por el podemos, menos. Bueno, después fíjate mañana, a ver cómo están. Bueno, gracias. Igualmente vos, descansa. ¿Ya cenaste?
Bueno, a ver que nuestro plan maestro rinda frutos. Yo creo que esperar a las 11 si los chabones están... Ya, ahora, a ver si comieron. ¿Qué onda? Bueno, puta madre que lo parió, amigo. Una hora después del mediodía. A ver, tienen que comer en algún momento, ¿no? The fuck. A ver hasta que los chabones vengan y me hablen, no sé. ¿Flaco? Toqué el escape. Por eso se paró, ¿o no?
There's not a squeamish bone in me. I just don't know why we should do it. What could he do to us? Nothing.
Look, they say he recognized someone and that he can still point his finger at others.
Perro al horno.
But so what? Soon enough, he'll just be able to point at a pile of rotting corpses.
But what if it doesn't work out like that? Let's just find him, chop them fingers off and bash his brains out. We can't be too
Flaco.
sad.
I suppose.
¿Pueden comer de una puta vez? Por el amor de Dios, amigo, coman la maldita comida.
They were. We might as well have taken a bunch of wenches.
It's always better to have more people for a job like that, though.
Maybe.
Me cago en la
There's
puta.
more taking a cut.
You didn't mind before.
Me cansé.
I picked up with that. What's his name?
Tupichi.
What? ¿Quién me volvió? Si el otro está muerto. No voy a comer de ese caldero, obviamente. Anillo. Groshens. Poción de caléndula, bien. ¿Vos tenés algo? El compañero del mercenario, esto, Groshens y un anillo de plata. Oh, piel de jabalí y una poción de estos. Bien. estoy tentado, pero no lo voy a comer. Voy a dejar el huevo, porque no, ya no sirve. Listo, saciado. El huevito. Vamos a dormir. Un poco. Vamos a dormir hasta las 5 de mañana porque Henry hace bastante que no duerme. Chabón, yo quiero saber qué hacía la poción de la bruja, amigo, porque no. Mal, no. No hizo nada. No voy a comer del caldero ni en pedo. Desaparecieron los cuervos, bien. Sobrecargado encima. Hay cosas por las que no me van a dar casi nada. Esto que boludo, lo tendría que haber dejado en el cofre. Pluma. ¡Ah, la piel de jabalí pesa un huevo! Ah, no, es piel de vaca. Y pesa un montón. Y vale nada. Listo. Pero no sé leer. Newhoff. Rotage. ¡Ah! La calavera gigante, ok. Este es el tesoro número 1, ¿no? Sí. Tesoro número 2. Rotage. Ajá. Sureste. Una mina. Ok. Usage. ¿O no? Ok, este no se entiende muy bien. Rotage. Creo que este yo sé dónde queda, ¿eh? Acá estoy más muerto que la mierda. Aunque creo que eso es Thunberg. Mira, acá también está Thunberg. Major D. Ok, ya sé dónde es ese. Bien, después puedo ir a buscar tesoros. A ver. Vamos a buscar a... Vamos a buscar a Argolla. Vamos a hablar en latino, ¿no? Bueno, en argentino sería más bien eso. No te la puedo creer. Ven acá. Y el caballo se haga TP. Bien. Y aunque se supone que si hay cosas que estoy sobrecargado, se las puedo enviar al caballo ahora, ¿no? Porque el caballo tiene su propio peso, aparte del mío. Creo. Bien. Ahora lo pruebo. Ok. ¿Quién es este?
I'm looking for a stable boy from the stud farm. I've heard he's hiding with some charcoal burners.
Don't know anything about that. No one ever comes here, what with the smoke and all.
I see, but
They say it makes their clothes reek. Don't know why they're complaining. The rest will stiffen the cloth and make it stronger. May the Lord watch over you.
Acá no te hagas el pelotudo.
Do you know where I can find Ginger, a stable boy from Neuhof?
Why don't you try Neuhof?
He was there, but now everyone says he's hiding with some charcoal burner friends of his.
Ah. Well, I can't help you there. I've heard nothing about it. Or him. May the Lord watch over you.
¡Qué hijo de...
I'm honored that you should come to me.
I'm looking for Ginger from Neuhof. Was he here by any chance?
Ginger, you say? Would he be a red-haired fellow?
Yes, have you seen him?
Let me see now. There was a stranger around here. He didn't have red hair, though, so it wouldn't be him.
Great, thanks.
La puta que lo parió.
Do you think that fellow is in with them?
He could be, I suppose. But what if he isn't?
If he really is one of his lordship's men, maybe he could help.
Maybe. On the other hand, he could be one of them cutthroats trying to trick us.
Oh, I doubt it. Common thieves wouldn't be clever enough to come up with a lie like that.
Only they ain't no common, are they? They're robbers and murderers and as crafty as foxes.
True enough. Let's pray he's not one of them.
I'm looking for Ginger from Neuhof. Was he here by any chance?
Ginger, you say? Would he be a red-haired fellow?
Yes, have you seen him?
Ah, no te la puedo creer.
Let me see now. There was a stranger around here. He didn't
Es
have
el
red
mismo
hair,
diálogo. Yo
so-
dije, no, ahora ya sé que está acá. Che, los bots de acá no son como muy inteligentes.
Good luck to you.
Se pusieron a hablar de eso delante mío, boludo.
Oh, why are you waking me? Go away.
¡Despertate, mierda!
Sod off.
La puta que lo parió.
No.
Puta madre. Son las 6 de la mañana, levántense, forros.
I'm honored that you should come to me.
I'm looking for Ginger, a stable boy from Neuhof.
Then why don't you look for him at the stud farm?
He was there, but now they say he's hiding amongst some charcoal burners.
And where did you hear that? Anyhow, there's no one of that description here. Try asking somewhere else.
Look, a terrible crime's been committed at Neuhof, and Sir Radzig wants the culprits found. And here you are making it harder for me.
Well, if you've been sent by Sir Radzig, you can deal with those two criminals who've been lurking around asking about the same boy.
And do you know where they are?
They won't be far, but I don't know where exactly. From here they headed south, so maybe try
Ya los
there.
maté.
There are plenty of good hiding places around.
So you're saying I should find them and kill them?
Just see to it they can't cause any trouble here. And then I'll tell you everything I know.
Our paths crossed and... well, they wouldn't listen to reason.
So how did it turn out? If you're here, then they must be...
They're dead. So, what was it you wanted to tell me?
Ginger was here, but the lads hid him away somewhere. I suppose there's no need for that anymore. He's in no danger now, is he? And nor are we.
That's right. You're safe now.
All right. They're hiding him nearby. A little way along the route to Uzhitz, there's a path to the right leading to a spring. From there, you'll find an overgrown trail to a ruined hut.
Finally, some useful information. Thank you, charcoal burner.
Take care now.
¿Listo? Nos vamos. ¿Dónde es eso? Acá. Bueno, para el segundo juego eso, la inteligencia artificial. O sea, si yo decido por mi cuenta seguirlos y espiarlos y descubro eso, está bien, pero que literalmente de la nada los chabones se me pongan a hablar, encima medio bugueados, se me pongan a hablar del tema adelante, es como XD. Ok. O sea, en serio, es muy XD, boludo. Se supone que es acá, ¿no? Acá hay otra casa. Ya sé que estás ahí, boludo. Pero, ¿qué otra casa? ¿La puedo...? ¿Hay algo para lootear acá? No hay una mía. Pero me encanta el detalle de que se pueda entrar.
It's not my fault.
Jesus, you've led me a merry dance.
What do you want from me?
I want to ask you a couple of questions. Why did you run off like that? Where are your cronies? And why did you kill that bandit?
What?
Right, one thing at a time. Why did you run off in such a hurry?
Because I was afraid they'd come back and kill me.
Who?
Those bandits, of course.
To get revenge on you for killing their mate?
Killing? Me? I never killed anyone. God is my witness.
I'm looking for your friends. Where are they?
The charcoal burners? They're over at the...
To hell with the charcoal burners. Where are your bandit mates?
They're not my mates. They nearly killed me. I recognized one of them, so I thought they'd come back and...
Recognized? Who was it? Talk!
I don't know his name, only that he's from Ushitz and he has a limp.
Okay.
What can you tell me about him? How do you know him?
I saw him a few times in the tavern in Ushitz, playing dice and boozing.
And?
I know he lives in a house on the edge of the village, but that's all I know. I never talked to him.
Why did you kill that bandit?
What? Bandit? I never killed anyone.
This is yours, isn't it? I pulled it from the belly of a dead bandit near the stud farm.
That is mine, but I didn't stab him. That fellow took it from me.
What fellow?
I don't know his name, but he's from Ushitz, and he has a limp.
He limps and he's from Ushitz. That's not much to go on, but I suppose it'll have to do.
Bien, a ver, que me cuente qué
All I
pasó.
know. I never talked to him.
And now tell me exactly what happened. And don't leave anything out.
That's quite a long story.
Voy a escucharlo para que me suba la habilidad de diálogo, pero no voy a escucharlo porque creo que debe ser un garrón.
Don't worry, I won't get bored.
All right. I woke up in the middle of the night because I needed to go for a piss. So I went out into the dark, same as usual, only there was something there that shouldn't have been. At first I thought it was just a trick of the light, but it wasn't. Then it was too late. They went past, and I thought they must be horse thieves. I would have yelled, only I was afraid they'd kill me. So I waited until they were out of sight, and I started to sneak away, but then...
Then the slaughtering started.
Yes. I thought they'd steal the horses and ride off. That would be bad enough, but then all the killing started and flames everywhere. It was terrible, like hell itself.
And then?
It seemed some of them didn't like it either. They started squabbling among themselves, and some of them started running back where they came from, right towards me. And I had that thing in my hand, the hoof pick.
So you stabbed the first one in the belly?
No. He ran right into me. He was running fast for a fellow with a limp. He pushed me aside and I fell on the ground. Then he told me I'd better lie low if I valued my life. And he ran off with the others. I did what he said and hid. Then the rest of the gang ran past.
And then?
Then I waited in case that limping one from Ushitz came back. I didn't dare come out until I was sure. I think it was almost light.
Sí, así que no se me va a salir ese plan aquí. Pero si no podés porque estás con mucha tarea, ya está bien.
Do you know what they argued about?
I didn't hear everything, but I reckon some of them were only there to steal and wanted no part in the killing.
What about the others? Was there anything you noticed about them?
I don't know. There might have been maybe 8 of them, and 2 of them were really big. That's all I can remember.
That sounds terrible. I know exactly how you feel.
If only I yelled. Maybe they...
If you had, you'd most likely be dead. It probably wouldn't have done any good anyway.
But still.
There was nothing you could do.
Hijo de puta. Me encanta como Henry es como los amigos que te dan consejos, pero no...
I've heard everything I need to hear.
Pero no aplican lo que les pasa.
Won't you help me out?
Henry hace una apología completamente lógica a lo que le pasa al chabón, pero no la sabe aplicar para él.
Those cutthroats who want to kill me are still around. Will you help me?
They're out of the way. I ran into them on my travels.
Really? That's great, but...
What?
I'm afraid to go back to the farm. I ran away, and God knows what they'll think about it all. I don't know if they'll even want to talk to me.
Just try, and you'll see whether they drive you away or not. But if you explain it to them, they're sure to understand.
I suppose you're right. Thank you for your help, and God bless you.
Listo. Ahora voy a hacer esto. Ya que estamos. Hace bastante que no subo de nivel con esto. Espera, a ver. No, eso no. Acá está, mover al caballo. A ver. Claro, y ya no estoy más cansado. Nice, amigo. Esto lo muevo al caballo. Los anillos de plata no, es al pedo. Esto lo pongo en el caballo. Esto que no lo uso tampoco, igual que las flechas. Listo. A casa. Listo. Ahora se largó a llover. Bien. No, X, la puta madre. ¿A dónde se supone que tengo que ir ahora? ¿Usage? No. Ah, tengo que ir a New Hope. Ok. Voy a hacerme el viaje rápido, boludo. Bien. ¿Se supone que Bernard sigue acá? ¿Sí? Ah, y ahora está Serrazzi. Digo, por el caballo, ¿no? O sea. Acá está Razzi.
God bless you. What troubles you?
My lord, I managed to find a clue to the whereabouts of the bandits.
Excellent. Bernard already told me what's been happening, but I'd like to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
The whole story, or just the gist of it, sir?
It's up to you what you consider important.
Well, in the end, I tracked down the stable boy who fled in fear of his life, and for good reason, too. He put me on the trail of a crofter from Ujit with a limp.
And his name?
The boy didn't know him by name, only by sight. But if I ask around, I'm sure folk will know who limps and keeps peculiar company. Villagers like to gossip.
But what if he's not there? He could have fled, maybe even to Kuttenberg.
If I don't find him in Ujits, I'll ask around. Someone will know something about him.
All right. Better go to Ujits then. Find this limping footpad and get the names of the others out of him. They have to face justice for what they did. I want to see them hang. Then bring him to me in Merhoyed and I'll decide on his fate.
Certainly, sir.
Farewell.
Jesus Christ be praised.
Any chance of some work here, Captain?
It all depends on what you're ready to do, my lad. As I'm sure you've noticed, the roads around here are swarming with brigands. Sir Hanush has declared quite a reward for dealing with them.
So what do you think I should do about them?
We know about one of their encampments. It's to the east of Ratai in an abandoned mine. I don't really mind how you deal with them. Anyway, the leaders generally wear spurs, maybe like they're pretending they're nobility. Who cares? In any case, bring me the spurs, and I'll take it as proof that the deed's done.
Very well. I'll see to it.
Wait. In addition, Sir Hanush has offered a reward for every bandit who's killed. So take a good sharp dagger. You'll get a bit extra for each ear you bring.
Bien.
Very well. That sounds amusing.
Well, as for amusement, I'd entertain myself by being very careful, lad.
Good luck to you.
Tengo una. What?
Can you teach me how to defend myself better in combat?
Certainly.
I'd like to practice the basics.
All right, but it'll cost you. Now, pay close attention.
Take care.
Bien. Y quiero aprender espada también.
I'd like to improve my swordsmanship.
Certainly.
I'd like to practice the basics.
All right, but it'll cost you. Now, pay close attention.
Good luck.
Bien. Puedo mejorar, no sé cuánto tengo, pero creo que puedo ver nada más.
I'd like to improve my swordsmanship.
Certainly.
I'm interested in more advanced techniques.
Wouldn't you rather learn the basics first?
Ok, no, todavía no tengo el nivel suficiente.
Well, I'll think it over.
I'll be with you.
Bien. ¿Cuánto dinero tengo? 1200, ok. Ok, tengo que ir a Usage, se supone. Hay un tesoro también de camino a Usage. Se supone, o sea. Creo que era algo con un apoyo. Creo que vi el mapa, a eso me refiero. Está parando de llover, me parece. Sí. Ya no llueve. Ushits está yendo al norte, bien al norte, ok. Y me parece que no es muy cerca, ¿no? Es la loma del orto. Me queda más rápido ir a Tamber con viaje rápido y después moverme. Pero voy a hacerlo y ya está. Capaz me encuentro algo interesante por el camino. Ah, el campamento de carboneros. Oh, la puta madre. Saltó bien. Yo pensé que no le iba a saltar, por eso yo estaba puteando. Vamos al norte, dale. Oh, no tiene nada aquí el caballo. Vamos a descansar un poco. Vamos a darle. A darle átomos. Parece que yo voy a campo abierto. ¿no? Bien, sí. Campo abierto. ¿Qué es esto? Una granja, ¿no? ¿Sigo estando muy lejos? Ah, no, se supone que eso es usage. Sí, ¿no? Ok, se supone que hay un tesoro en algún lado. ¿En usage o en Newhof? Me parece que es Newhof. Voy a descubrir el punto de acceso rápido. A cruz, ¿no? Sí. Carnicería. Uy, qué caballo de mierda. Ok, creo que ya sé dónde vive, ¿no? Me parece que sí. Cinemática.
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
No, no, porque la mancha enorme de sangre no hay nada.
I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh.
O lo que queda de él.
Or all that's left of him.
Ay, qué lindo.
Sacra. Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups in the tavern
Okay.
or what have you.
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last time I saw him with anyone.
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time. but he always kept everyone in the village at arm's length.
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhoff raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
Ok. Me chupa un huevo porque estaba tuyo.
When did you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now, and nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without someone hearing him scream.
Vos.
God save you. What can I do for you?
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhoff, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know anything about it, but ask all you want.
Do you know anyone Lubos used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
Not with anyone from the village. He used to sit in the tavern next to us sometimes, but he never said much.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Come to think of it, he was in church yesterday. He was even talking to the priest and went to confession. I was wondering what he was up to take to the faith all of a sudden.
Listo.
There's no sins too dark for God's mercy.
Ya estamos. No hace falta.
Thank you.
Farewell.
Ok, a ver. Uf. A ver. Signos de desorden. ¿Hay algo? No, una cama.
Nothing unusual.
Sí. Nada para robar tampoco. Era re chorro, boludo. Acá. ¡Epa! Bueno, vinito.
Nothing here.
O sea, no se robaron nada, básicamente, es lo que estoy averiguando. Excepto por mí. Me refiero, a los que lo mataron no robaron nada. Falta una puerta. No hay nada.
Lord above, they did a hell of a job on him. Must have been agony. No one heard anything.
Ah, boludo. Se le ve el hueso. Qué asco. Tiene como un logo, ¿no? Un signo. Lo hicieron mierda, boludo.
An inscription in blood. It's a pity I don't know how to read.
Christ.
Warning, but who? And a bandit who knows how to write isn't something you see every day.
Scradle. Scradle. ¿Latín? No. Es que no sé en qué idioma ponerlo, boludo. Se supone que acá había un chabón que me podía enseñar a leer. Voy a buscar... Creo que sé dónde es. Era más en el centro de la aldea. Voy a ver si me puede enseñar a leer. Y voy a leer la inscripción a ver qué dice. Ya me adelanto. Debe decir algo como traidor o algo así. Porque si este chabón era uno de los bandidos. Porque esto es el mercado. Esto es la taberna. Esto es... ¿Mercader? Mercader. Ha descubierto mercader. Escriba este. Me parecía raro, digo mercader. Ese no es el logo del mercader. Acá está. Se supone que... ¿Qué hora es? Vamos a pasar un tiempo. A ver. Escriba, acá está.
I hope I can be of some humble service to you.
Pues quiero aprender a leer.
I'd like to learn to read.
You? You don't look like the makings of a priest or clerk. But why not? I've taught all sorts. Bear in mind, it won't be all that easy. You'll need plenty of time and a few groschen for my trouble.
All right. I don't want to waste time. We can get started. The sooner I master it, the better.
Very well. I will require some groschen from you, though, and set aside at least a couple of days so I can put you through your paces, if indeed time is of the essence.
Ok. Ah, 50 groschen no es nada, boludo, dale.
Then we may as well start.
Para algo que me va a ayudar un montón.
He did break his vow, but better than to dishonor it here. May he follow his heart. Wake up, lad. It's time we were getting on. So, let's see you read a bit. There's a book here on the table. Try to read it.
Will I manage?
You ought to be able to. It's a simple text. Come back once you've worked your way through.
El ganso de los huevos de oro, básicamente. Listo.
I've read the book.
Wonderful. So tell me, what have you learned?
That being greedy doesn't pay.
Excellent. You're one of my most talented pupils. You've uncovered the meaning hidden in the letters. Like I told you, books are valuable, and the words that you place in them ought to be no less so.
Does that mean that I can read then?
Yes, you have the foundation. Remember, my boy, the pen is mightier than the sword. To fully learn your way around words will take a lot more reading yet.
Uy, ¿cómo que en
Now
latín,
we move on to the
boludo?
second lesson, which will be much harder. Many books are written in Latin, the language of erudite and religious men. If you really want to be able to read, there's no getting away from Latin. There's a book on the table with some text. Read it and then come back. You need not understand it, but you should master the letters.
I only just managed the fable about the goose, and now you're asking me to tackle Latin.
You're a clever lad. You'll manage.
Se supone que es este, ¿no? ¡Oh, la punta de la puta madre! Bueno, chicos, esto va a tardar un poco. A ver, Google Translate. Inglés no, latín. La puta madre. L. Latín. A ver. Me cago en la puta.
I read the page.
So tell me, Distrupule, what's written there?
Nullus est liber tam malus ut non lique parte prosit.
Good heavens! Don't tell me you haven't had lessons before. Excellent. Well, there's nothing more I can teach you. Congratulations. You can go and be ordained right away.
Okay.
Thank you, Domine. I'm feeling a lot wiser.
Bien. ¿Qué tengo acá? Lectura. Esto me sirve más, me parece. Esto me sirve. Esto me sirve. Ok. Bien. A ver. Caballito. ¿Dónde estás? Where are you? Acá estás. Vamos a la calle de Lugo ya leer esa mierda. Me costó, me costó. Me cago en la puta. Caballo, volvé. ¿Dónde está el caballo? Ay, Dios. Se supone que la casa de Lugo era por acá. Qué garrón debe ser subir esta colina cargado, boludo. Esa es la casa de Lugo, yo creo. ¿Por qué sale humo si está el dueño muerto? No sé.
Judas.
Judas.
Looks like this is meant to be a warning. But for who? And why? Maybe the gang had a falling out. But a bandit who knows how to write isn't something you see every day.
Judas, claro, traidor. Una advertencia. Ok. Mira un bowl. Epa, acá. Una pala. Jabalí. Sí, muchas pieles. Que voy a mandar al caballo, por cierto. Listo. Tendría que hablar con el sacerdote. ¿Qué hora es? Ok. ¿Qué? Carajo. Espera. Algo me dice que la iglesia está más tirando... Por acá, acá. ¿Cómo no la pasé antes? Sacerdote. Espera un momento. ¿Tenés algo interesante por acá? ¿Por qué tiene un bacinete cumano? ¿Qué tiene un escudo cumano? Nada. Padre, yo solamente estoy haciendo el bien por la iglesia. Yo le estoy confiscando cosas. Te lo voy a dejar, boludo, no me sirve. Ni es al pedo cargarle ese peso al caballo. ¡No! ¿Dónde está la...? Acá. Esto después lo puedo llevar al vendedor y... Ah, hola, buenas. ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué onda, padre? Literalmente.
The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Leipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhof, which seems to be connected to a murder here. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
Bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child, all sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to do about it, and sometimes they do stupid things.
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhof was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I can't.
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son, and one of those is the sanctity of the confessional.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one
La concha de la lora.
For heaven's sake, Father, can you really look me in the eye and tell me that, when you know you may be condemning innocent people to death?
I can, because if I broke that vow, the consequences would be much worse than if I didn't. Maybe not immediately, but one day. The mills of God grind slowly.
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhof raiders. Only he could tell me who was responsible for that massacre. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. I'll tell you what, give me some time and I'll try to think up some way of helping you. Suppose we talk it over in the evening, in the tavern, over a cup of good wine. Maybe we'll come up with something.
All right. Thank you, Father.
God be with you.
Me encanta el... Me encanta el estereotipo de padre de parroquia de la Edad Media que vivía en pedo y era un borrachín y un corrupto. Me caga tanto de risa, boludo. En un montón de películas medievales está ese coso. A ver, lo voy a esperar hasta la noche. Me cago de risa viendo películas con esos chabones. Me acuerdo, ¿en cuál estaba? Estaba en la de Robin Hood, esa en la que actúa... Ay, no me acuerdo el nombre. Que se enfrenta a un pelado en las costas y todo eso. Me cago de risa. Bien, acá está. A ver, padre. ¿Qué onda, padre?
Sorry, I can't tell you everything. But maybe we can work something out. But first, I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sí, hoy que te digan soy de Skalitz es casi como que hoy te diga soy de Ucrania.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning. They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, my girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do.
Ya escuché esta historia tantas veces que me la sé de memoria, boludo.
They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovno. Folk who tried to take refuge there, but they...
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanush to send that old grouch, Bernard.
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujits, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Neuhof? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
The rumors aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people.
Voy a tratar de tirarle de la lengua para que hable, boludo. Porque si no, no sé cómo voy a hacer para encontrar otra pista.
Judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me.
Bebamos por eso, boludo. Se va a poner en pedo solo.
Don't look much like our parish priest at home. I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword. I wouldn't expect that of a man of the cloth.
You know what they say. The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
But this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, it's just a bit of exercise to keep me in shape.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, and that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
Here, just as you ordered.
I understand, but that means I've reached a dead end. Those cutthroats will strike again, and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
If I tell you what Lubos told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But, first thing tomorrow, I'll try something I think might help you.
Word of honor?
On my soul.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Ujits isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard.
Hail!
So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. And, of course, describing them in detail. A tongue-lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Jan Hus.
Recently, a
Sí,
priest
mira.
by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague.
Uno de los primeros protestantes.
And the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house.
Aparte de Martín Lutero, obvio.
Told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison. And nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy.
Sí, es básicamente la historia de la iglesia medieval católica. Bueno, y la judía también en su momento, en la época de Jesús. Era todo pagar guita, multas y eso. Nada que ver con lo que decía la Biblia en la realidad.
With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper.
Los fariseos de esa época y los sacerdotes de esta época eran como los diputados y políticos de Argentina de hoy.
And had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
Sí, a día de hoy es como que estemos hablando de Milei casi.
Let's drink to that.
Y vamos por eso. Este bebe por cualquier cosa, boludo. Se tira un pedo, pero vamos por eso.
My situation is completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss. I'm no better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
What do you think of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
Good neighbors.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have
Es por eso que el protestantismo avanzó tanto.
Rise up, and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. It's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
Ah, that sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Vamos a estirarle la lengua a ver si habla un poco. No, ya me acordé de esto, es buenísimo. Me cagué tanto de risa.
Enough of this!
Bailiff, come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Qué buena
Don't
escena.
vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can ride is me.
¡Hijo de puta!
Men, throw them out.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Recaliente porque me tiraron en la birra. Vamos a cagar la trompada. Vamos a cagar la trompada. Vamos. ¿Dónde está? Te voy a cagar a palo, Merino, y la reputa que te parió. Viejo choto. Che, y si le pego a alguien más. Viejo choto, morite, pedazo de pelotudo. Uno menos. Otro. Morite, oh, la puta que te parió. La puta que haces, flaco. Metete el puño en el orto. Y vos vení, viejo. Viejo lesbiano. Vení acá, boinero, chevadero, puto. Vení que corrés, vení acá, forro. Me tiraste la birra, me tiraste el fernet, me tiraste el fernet. Alguien eructó como... Le salieron los intestinos por la boca, boludo. Y que me caigo, boludo.
I'd love to. And Henry, too, I'm sure.
Right, Henry. Stop that nonsense, Godwin. Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
They can say what they like. What do I care? What do they do to me? Watch the step, my dears. Careful, you don't hurt yourself.
No.
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
Oh. We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
Qué viejo, hijo de puta, boludo. No puede ser.
This is wonderful.
No.
Ah, bloody oath.
And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
No, el viejo verde, boludo, no. El viejo verde, mira.
Come here.
¿Qué pasó? Sí, me cogieron, boludo, me violó el padre. No, boludo, flashback de Vietnam, me violó el padre. No, ¿qué? Bueno. No, bueno, ok. ¿Esto es censurable? Ok. Me cago en la puta. Bueno. No me vas a acordar a qué pasó ayer, boludo, en la película. ¿Qué pasa, perro? ¿Qué pasó cielo, con vos?
Look what I've got for you.
Ah, ¿y ahora hablas
You'll
normal?
love this.
Me caigo, boludo. No tengo nada para el perro. No puedo ni correr, boludo. Dame un beso, pelado.
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Cómo me encanta este juego, boludo. ¿Qué pasó ayer? Versión medieval, boludo. Y ahora se despiertan con un león y Mike Tyson al lado.
Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on my head. My guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. Oh, what was that woman on about? Before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten?
Where the fuck am I?
What the fuck was it? Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me.
I'd like to help you, but...
You can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look. From what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
Ok.
We'll never get away with it.
Not if you make a hash of it.
Well, all right. But I can't make any promises about what'll happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubosh.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
Qué bien. Esto es digno de un episodio de ¿Qué pasó ayer, boludo?
Hey.
Voy a equiparme las cosas porque estoy semidesnudo. Listo. Veo todo medio saturado por estar en pedo, boludo. Creo que es la resaca.
I thought he'd never show up. The swill pup.
Look at him. He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you wait.
Look at him. Mother of God. Any minute now he'll throw up.
Animals, I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
Sí, la verdad, un hijo de puta, no sé quién.
Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas. Hac facite in meam commemorationem.
Bebé en conciencia de mí. Mejor no. No, la que me garché anoche.
Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where, by the grace of God, was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
Now I'm curious which one of them will puke first.
Ay, Dios. Habla -1, así que confianza. Modesto.
Brothers and sisters in Christ, I would like to talk to you about our Holy Mother Church and what iniquities it's declining into.
That boy has a cheek.
Creation has given to every man the power by which he might rule the whole world. But that power does not give him the right to rule. That right belongs to God alone. It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, humans, hunger, and chaos. The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame, shame upon them.
It is the custom of the gluttonous prelates and monks to preach against sin. But what do they know of us ordinary folk? Let us remember the marriage at Cana, where our Lord Jesus Christ himself feasted with the other guests and drank his fill.
Bueno, ahí te fuiste un poco la mierda, pero...
Performed a miracle and created more. He,
whose companions were poor travelers, simple folk, prostitutes, and troublemakers, performed a miracle so the feast could continue.
Now that's the kind of sermon I like to hear.
No, brothers and sisters. Jesus did not condemn alcohol.
Sí, lo condenaba, pero
to
bueno.
lighten the cross you bear in this vale of tears, but not with such abandon that you cannot keep holy the Sabbath. For there should be moderation in all things, and it is not drinking itself that is sinful, but intemperance and beastly indulgence.
He's right.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants.
No sé cómo carajo estoy sobreviviendo a
They
esto.
play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had no.
Predica bien para el pedo que tiene encima.
Consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and His people too.
Down with the prelates! Away with them!
We're fortunate to have our good father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
I say to you, in the words of Jan Hus, he who knows much, let him speak much. He who knows little, let him speak little. Let each speak as much as he knows. And he who knows nothing, let him at least teach his neighbor one virtuous deed by setting him good example and refraining from playing dice and from fornication. And that applies both to priests and to you, brothers and sisters.
That's his conclusion?
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
Tengo un pedo.
The lad spoke well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, that Hus.
The young man shouldn't drink so much, but the Lord's given him a silver
glad he
tongue.
came here. I don't suppose I'll ever
¿Qué carajo, boludo?
Well, well, my boy, you have talent, and I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin.
So gluttony and fornication.
God does forgive a penny.
So, what did Limpy tell you? Was he at Neuhof that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now, slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you?
Well, now Lubos came to me shortly after it happened. His conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Fell out? Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhof.
That would explain something. Lubos kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubos killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Riki from Ledechko, Pius, Timmy.
Pius. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Riki from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try. Although I'm not sure I'd survive another night of your debauchery.
And if anyone should ask, you heard nothing from me. I'll deny everything.
I don't doubt it.
Este es el mejor episodio, boludo. Bueno, hasta acá llegó mi amor. Le robaba la frase a Natalia. Es una cruz, ¿no? Sigo borracho, boludo. O sea, sigo con resaca. Bueno, voy a terminar acá el episodio. Che, estábamos solos. ¿Por qué ahora sí? ¿Ves? Esto es uno de los bugs que vos decís. Recién estábamos solos, boludo. O sea, no se coincide lo que pasa en la cinemática con el resto del juego, boludo. Ese es el tema. Bueno. Nos vemos, gente. Hasta la próxima.